We have new information tonight in the death of a father who was just trying to do the right thing. And now we have pictures of the possible suspects involved in his murder. Moises Arguin was shot when he tried to stop a guy from robbing his neighbor in North Harris County. Sherman KHOU is live with the surveillance video in a murder that has gotten the city's attention. Sherman?
Yeah, Len, the father of two young girls saw a neighbor in trouble, jumped into action, and that good deed cost him his life. Detectives want you to take a good look at this surveillance video from the North Harris County neighborhood. It happened about 11 o'clock Friday night. Four guys pull up in a four-door mid-size sedan, the make and model not clear, and from the backseat the two killers get out. The first, maybe 17 to 19 years old, about 5 feet 8 inches tall, with a white muscle shirt, wearing gray sweats. He has bad teeth and an angular face. Witnesses say it reminds them of a rat. The second killer is younger, maybe 15 to 16, a little shorter, about 5 feet 5. His hair is distinctive, quote, poofy, shaped like a mushroom. You can see him holding a gun. Investigators believe the crew was driving through the neighborhood looking for someone to rob, focused on the 16-year-old at random, and that neither victim knew their attackers.
It is a lot more serious, because the kind of people that do that to purely innocent people, those are the worst kind of people we have out there. And those are the kind of people we need to get off the street the most.
Moises Arguin was shot and killed. He's described as a good family man, very sociable, and that the 16-year-old he was protecting says he was like a father to him. Neighbors held a barbecue yesterday to help raise money for the family. Obviously, if you know anything, please contact authorities or Crime Stoppers. Moises' mother, his wife, his brother, many other relatives were at that press conference that wrapped up just a little bit ago. We'll have more on the emotional moments from that press conference coming up at 6 o'clock. For now, I'm live downtown. Sherman KHOU 11 News.